Welcome to the SNN.Network Canada virtual event. I'd like to introduce our next presenter, Pradeep Banerjee, Chairman and CEO of Xybion Digital, Inc. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you for joining SNN conference and especially listening to my presentation. Xybion is a software company, low-code software as a service company. We're focused on digitally enabling highly regulated companies, which means life sciences companies, biotech companies, highly regulated diagnostic testing companies. Our products help these companies to move their products faster to the market. We are listed on TSX-V as XYBN. I will go through a couple of next slides, which are our statement for forward-looking statements and legal disclaimers. So some of these things I'm going to share are not necessarily IFRS comparable. So there are two legal slides. So I'll move to this slide to give you an opening statement on our company. So Xybion is a very special company. We are both profitable and high-growth software company, which is actually a very unique combination. Most of the software and the high-tech companies at our stage of evolutions are actually losing money and a very high negative cash burn. We are very profitable, focused on a very important sector of the economy, pharmaceuticals, biotechs, testing labs, and health system domains. Our product accelerates the conversion of inventions into life-saving medicines in the patient's hands. So that's what we do. We digitize and cloud-enabled testing. Our clients benefit from a very fast timeline, improved compliance, because our product embeds all the necessary regulatory requirements into the same platform, as well as helping the research and experimental process. And we did this through incorporating all the software into our research and development software platform. This is a $60 billion plus total addressable opportunity, and digital transformation through this COVID and post-COVID world has become front and center. It is urgent for this market to get this kind of software into the operating environment of the company. We already have 160 plus top-tier clients in 25 countries. We already have a great performance metric, which are somewhat shown here, and I'll go through that in more detail very shortly. We have built an experienced and a performance-driven management team and a very seasoned board of directors in place. We'll talk about that shortly as well. We have a well-defined growth plan that includes both organic growth and mergers and acquisitions in the mix. Let me take you through the details. This is our fiscal year ends on March 31, so this is our last full fiscal year performance. This is a 50% per annum SaaS revenue growth, which in just about 3 years' time, we changed our business model to just SaaS-only software as a subscription model. So in that short period of time, we were able to gain over 25% return on investment capital, and as I said, we're also profitable with a 16% adjusted EBITDA. So this, I think, is a very strong metric. 75% gross margin on our SaaS revenue, which is at par with similar companies, and a 65% overall gross margin for the entire company. And all the numbers I'm going to share with you are in US dollar. We are a US-based company. So $14.3 million was our last fiscal year, with a rule of 40, which means the growth rate plus the EBITDA percent. Our score is 65, which is pretty strong. SaaS growth was 49%, and 50% was the ARR in our, which is the repeatable revenue part of it. And as I already mentioned, 25% return on investment capital, and 60% of our pipeline is in the ARR category. So that was for the last year. We recently reported our September 30th quarter, in which we also reported very strong growth. So over the quarter-to-quarter comparison, the ARR growth was almost 22%. SaaS revenue growth was almost 24% quarter over quarter. Gross margin also improved a little bit. Our EBITDA margin improved very significantly, at 114%, and our revenue growth was also very significant during the same period of time. So we are on track with our growth plan as we started our journey into this part of it. So as I mentioned, we have 160 plus clients in 25 countries. Most of these are biopharmaceutical companies. 100% of the top 20 global biopharmaceutical companies are our clients already. And these are into the pharmaceutical companies, biotech companies, testing lab, hospital systems, and various government agencies. I've given you a list of some of our clients like Pfizer, Merck, Amgen, GE, Biogen, LabCorp, and also Northwell Health, Boehringer Ingelheim. So this is a good list. And one of the remarkable things I want to share with you is that this actually includes U.S. Food and Drug Administration as our client. They use our research and development software platform to test all the drug samples that are submitted to them for approval. Same thing is with the U.S. Army. U.S. Army has a large medical research command which does tremendous amount of research and inventions. So they use our platform to carry out their research and development. The other example I would like to share here also is the largest hospital system in the New York City metro area named Northwell Health System. This is a 23 hospital and 77,000 employees. They use our employee health and safety software platform, and it went live in early 2020, just about the time COVID was breaking in the New York metropolitan area. So the 77,000 employees' safety is on Xybion's platform, still continuing. So this is a very diverse group of clients utilizing all our platforms, research and development, health and safety, labs, and quality and compliance. So this is a full spectrum of our clients that are using our system. So this is, so what do we do? What do we offer? So in the entire life cycle of a drug, from the invention to reach the market through the FDA approval process, the first step is to get the research and development to prove that this drug or this COVID vaccine or any other vaccine is safe, and that is done through research in the test labs, also in the animal trial system. So that's our first step. We go through that. And then in order to get that through the FDA process, it also needs to be embedded with a large number of quality management systems, instrument calibration, maintenance, sample integrity, and also proving and documenting every method, every protocol. Everything needs to be submitted and subject to an audit trail and investigation. So all of these are bundled into a single platform. So same thing goes with the laboratories. Same thing as I mentioned, the hospital system, that health and safety, that keeps the employees safe, and we document everything. So we capture this entire life cycle from the drug research development all the way through the regulatory approval and keeping the employees safe in the entire value chain of a drug and vaccines and testings journey from the invention to reaching the patients and save lives. And our clients benefit from the faster time. An average statistic is that 1 day of saving in time for a new drug to reach the market is worth $2 million a day for new revenue savings. So that's the revenue side of the benefit. And our clients will, on average, save 30% on their cost, and it also lowers their compliance risk because everything is in one place, so it doesn't have to go through another place, another test to go through that process. So that's what we do, so bringing everything into one place. And on average, our clients have 8 to 10 different softwares that normally need to get their job done. Now they can have it on a single cloud, low-code platform. So that's the competitive positioning for us. So next, I started talking about our client examples, why we win. I gave you the example of Northwell Health, largest hospital system. Let me share another example, which is a German pharmaceutical company, which recently selected us. They had a RFP out to find a research and development software that we are known for. So they first selected us through the competitive process. Then during this process, they came to know that our software in the cloud also have all this quality, compliance, and other systems already embedded. So they immediately gave us an internal referral to their quality management department, which already had an industry-leading software in place, but it could not integrate with their research and development platform. So ultimately, going through another internal evaluation at Boehringer Ingelheim, they also awarded us the replacement of their existing software system for quality management by a Xybion platform. And in the process, they also handed off some of the homegrown systems that they were maintaining for a long time, now to be replaced by the entire Xybion platform. So just with the one RFP, even before that project is implemented, Boehringer Ingelheim has awarded us 3 contracts to go forward. So this will add to our revenue and software as a service ARR going forward into the next 6 to 12-month window. And the other one is research and development, which is the largest pharmaceutical company in the world. They carry out over 30,000 different experimental and research protocols, and they were doing it previously through homegrown systems. Now, after they've seen our software in the cloud platform, we got that awarded to us. So this massive pharmaceutical company's global research protocols, including their partnership with academic institutions, their biotech partners, that involves over 100,000 users worldwide, are now on this cloud platform, helping them to discover new inventions faster and moving them through the development process all the way up to the market. So these are some of the examples of why we win. So let me move on to the next slide to give you a competitive landscape. So on the left-hand side, it shows all the modules that Xybion has to offer, from research and development to predictive compliance risk, for which we have been awarded a U.S. patent recently, which allows us to find the patterns from an inspections reports, right, like the U.S. FDA, which is a public document. From there, you can then find the pattern and assess the potential risk, how the next inspection could impact them. And using our system, they can also put mitigation factors in there. So on the left-hand side, I have that, but there is point-by-point competition for each of these line items we compete with. But with the exception of one company, which is a U.S. company called Veeva Systems, nobody really has even comparable to similar platform on multiple solutions on a single cloud. So Veeva is a very successful company. It was almost our size about 10 years ago. Now it's $1.4 billion revenue and a $50 billion plus US dollar market cap. That's a success story. But point by point, we do compete. I mentioned at Boehringer Ingelheim, we replaced this platform called Sparta System, which is a very large company as well. And in the Canadian market especially, another very successful company is Neat. The trading symbol is KSI on TSX now. But they compete on just one line item, which is validation only, whereas ours is a much broader base of operations and a larger total addressable market. I would say over 100-fold increase in the total addressable market for us. So that's the competitive landscape, and our strength is having everything on a single platform, single cloud, so that they don't have to get multiple things and manage multiple handoffs. It brings efficiency and speed and reduce the quality risk for all our customers. So we got here through a very interesting mechanism as well. So initially, my background is I'm the founding managing partner, now retired, of Accenture's Life Sciences R&D practice. And that practice was built on the view that you have to solve the end-to-end process problem of a client, not just single point. So that's what we started in 2008 by an acquisition of the Xybion Corporation, and then added multiple acquisitions, one in Quebec City, Canada, Amadeus Solutions, which gave us a governance, risk, and compliance and quality software, and another one from GE Healthcare called Stellix and VitalPath in U.S. and Pennsylvania. So these 3 acquisitions started to give us the end-to-end platform for the software to help our clients. And then we integrated all of these. And as the technology evolved into the cloud structures, we built a cloud that is very similar to Google's cloud technology. And then we moved all this legacy software onto this new modern cloud and modernized ourselves. So we changed ourselves as well in the process. And all of these are now fully built and in production. So it's now proven. Now it's for us to redo this whole cycle, both organic growth and acquisitive growth, to get onto a very large revenue scale for us. So how do you get there from here? So we have two approaches. One is our organic growth, which is based on, we have 160 plus existing clients. So each of them historically have either one or two of our modules. Now we have multiple modules. We have 10 different plus modules that we can sell. So one would be to actually focus on these 160 plus clients and expand our revenue base from inside. In parallel, we'll also expand our verticals and also improve our international footprint, especially Europe and Asia Pacific. So that's what we're going to do. Plus, we are already working with a partner base. We are a partner with one of the largest software integration and IT integration company called Cognizant System. So they are our partner for the R&D and the lab space because they have a good standing with various pharmaceutical companies. And we are also their clients because we want to utilize the experience of their people to help us improve our product and harden our product and to scale faster. So this will be our going forward organic growth focus. We expect this will be very successful. And we also mentioned that we have the experience of acquisition, integration, and then putting it together and modernize them. So that's where we will also focus, our second pillar of growth. For each of our verticals, as I mentioned, we are focusing on a quality management, health and safety, lab, and R&D. So each of them will look for acquisitions that are P&L accretive, and that will add value to our shareholders from day one. And so we are experienced in doing that. So both would be our going forward position in all of these modes. And we have this experienced and the seasoned team in place. As I mentioned, my background, I'm the previous retired former managing partner of Accenture's Life Sciences. And then we have an experienced team in CFO who has been with us for 30 plus years. Our COO comes from a large consulting firm, Infosys, and he was the managing partner for the life sciences consulting sites, and others are equally experienced from various companies and have been with Xybion for over a long period of time already. We have also assembled a very experienced board of directors. So John McCoach, who is based in Vancouver, is the previous president, retired from TSX-V's president. Bill Chiliak is also in Canada. He has been CEO of several biotech companies. Mary LeBlanc has been the Chief Information Officer of Novartis Pharmaceuticals division, and Peter Bailey is former GE and former McKinsey consultant, CEO of a lab sciences company. That's one of our competitions. So this is a very experienced board. We expect to work together with them to go forward very, very quickly. I also wanted to share some of the KPIs compared to our large and competitive size companies. As I mentioned, the rule of 40, which I believe a lot of investors follow, we stack very highly because we are very unique in terms of having a value-like company with a high profit and also a growth company factor. So this is very powerful for us. And the Viva I mentioned is the main target model for us, and so we compare metric-wise. Where revenue-wise much smaller, metric-wise we do. But other competitive companies, whether it's NEAT or any others, they are far lower because they still have a negative EBITDA for most of the time, even though growth rate is good. But the rule of 40, when you combine them, is actually lower. And the unique part is that we have a return of investment capital over 25%, whereas companies like NEAT and others have a negative return on investment capital. We also compare very favorably on other metrics from the valuations and stock price. We got listed on TSX-V, as you can see, our revenues of Xybion in Canadian dollar for last 12 months is slightly over $20 million in Canadian dollars, whereas companies like Neat, this is the latest data we had as of last Friday, is approximately 12 million. So we're approximately approaching 2 times the revenue base. We are profitable, but others are not, but they're trading at almost 23 times multiples, whereas our trading is only 5 times multiples of revenue. So there is a value indication and a very huge growth potential for us. I wanted to showcase that. The last column should say it's not just 0.69, it's 69% is the gross margin last 12 months. So that's the comparative features that we have. And let me wrap up by sharing our cap table. So this is our cap table as of now, and 1.53 million shares in public hands. And so that's the basis of it. The trading symbol is XYBN. So with this, let me summarize what I just went through. Xybion Digital is a very unique, profitable, and a high-growth software company. So we embed the value propositions of a value company with having a tremendous return on investment capital, about 25%, 16% adjusted EBITDA, and at the same time showing 50% SaaS revenue growth over last year. And our ARR as of September 30th calculation is over $10 million, and we expect it to be higher as we finish the year on March 31. And we have a cutting-edge low-code cloud platform, which means this low-code word means when it comes to implementing our software, it can be done very rapidly because very little code writing has to be done at the client implementation level. Most of the code that needs to be written are already written, and we typically put our software to host on Amazon Web Services, AWS platforms, so it's tremendously easy to get this implemented and get the client's software configured in their process, their way, which is a unique differentiation for us. And as I mentioned, we have multiple ways to grow, both organic and also acquisition is another vehicle we're going to use. Seasoned management team. We look forward to working with all of our investors going forward. So with that, let me stop and see if you have any questions. All right, so I have a question. So why do you like to see Xybion in the next 2 to 3 years? My forward-looking statement on our plan is to see the same rate of growth, which is close to 50% software as a service revenue part of it, growing in that direction. We would be planning to have a couple of acquisitions during that period of time. So that will add to the revenue and also it will bring talents to us. So we would see us to be significantly growing in all our verticals over the next 2 to 3 years window. All right. Well, thank you very much for attending. I appreciate the time. If there are more questions, you can always reach out to me, and we can set up other meetings. Thank you all.